RKO out of nowhere, political statement though this may be, is a bigger meme than You Can't See Me.
Yeah, only it was one of the best viral phases, I think. Back again. We stop saying we're back. Like,
yeah, I know. Like it's a surprise to anyone.
We've arrived.
We're in for the long haul at this point.
Finally. No, I need to stop doing that.
That's good foreshadowing. That's what we want. That's what we like on this podcast. We like. I don't know the word, so that's an awful way to start. But say something funny, quick.
Well, I'll tell a story. Actually, last night I was with our constantly mentioned. Potential guest, Isaiah, and we're both talking about having sort of been somewhat away from, especially our music community scene a little bit, especially over the last few months. And he's like, "Yeah, I'm back." I was come out of the cave, and I was like, "Finally!" And obviously he respected and understands the reference. A few people gave me funny looks because I committed to the whole thing.
Yeah, of course.
Isaiah has come back.
To the nerddom.
But yeah, so you got some funny videos of me yesterday.
Yeah, which I enjoyed. I appreciate those SVR 06. I might say this is a controversial opinion. I think it might be better than Here Comes the Pain.
Here Comes the Pain was just classic, man. It was classic. I think Here Comes the Pain is when they... I don't know if they knowingly did this, but they accidentally started making the cover athlete OP in the game.
Yeah.
And
my gosh. Cena, wasn't it?
Huh?
Batista and Cena, right?
Here Comes the Pain.
No, Here Comes the Pain was Bork.
But what was 06? Yeah, I think
Batista and Cena.
Yeah, right. Yeah, 06 is Batista and Cena. Yeah, they're just
disrespectful.
Rude. They're just rude. Except for the odd classic. Like there's nothing beats a classic Stone Cold match because he has the most disgusting taunt.
Yeah, the shortest taunt as well.
That's what I mean. It's an absolute hack. You just bam, 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 stunner. Bam, bam, bam. Like the time it takes someone just to get up from a clothesline, you've already got your finisher.
Exactly.
Just doing the fingers. It's hilarious.
And then it gets worse in the later games where they had the stamina meter. Obviously, this is the THQ version of the stamina meter, not the 2K, because the games were fun then. The person would get up and they'd be all wobbly and they'd do the. But you're still just doing that. You should be losing more stamina than them.
It's great. And, oh God, I'm peeing on the floor. That's what it's like. Yeah, the games are classic. And I had a little bit. Since we're starting, this is episode 2, season 2 of the Smarks. I feel like we miss out intros a lot.
We do, but that's the fun of it.
We just start talking because we're such good friends. This is all we are, just friends talking about wrestling and shitting on the Undertaker.
Yep, have we really done that? We hate you.
I did watch some funny clips from his podcast. It's actually kind of, I hate to say it. I know immediately classic Smart's gone on a tangent, but my hot take is it's actually kind of boring.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's not like you think insights from the Undertaker would be fun, but like we've mentioned season 1, it's not like he was the most charismatic person on the mic.
No.
So him on a podcast isn't really much better.
And then you take away the most interesting part of him, which is the weird ass character, and you're just left with this guy who's way too right wing and loves the thin blue line. So,
moving on from Mark, we've got to have our obligatory shitting on Mark. We've got to just empty the bowels.
Did somebody say 3 minutes?
Oh, no, get out of it. So back to the games.
Okay, yeah.
So I actually realised there was a game that I forgot. The first games, because there was 2 of them. And I think I don't know. I can't go back in time and verify. My memory's not that good. But I believe the first wrestling WWE, WWF game, the Fed, was, and I might be getting it wrong now, the Attitude Era
WWF Attitude?
Yes.
Oh, God.
Before SmackDown. before, and it was only like a couple of years before SmackDown.
Yeah.
Before SmackDown, there was, and I had this game on my PlayStation 1. And it was weird because, first thing I'll highlight, and this is how green I was as a kid, there was, you know, on most games, there was like different modes and settings that like just went over your head. All you knew was play and maybe settings. Any other option, that was a grey area that if you were brave, you might learn a new word.
Obviously, we all went to the customization and we just made the arena look as ridiculous as possible. You play with, well, you couldn't do it back then, but you play the SmackDown arena, you'd have the most obnoxious ring canvas imaginable, which, have you seen what was announced last night on SmackDown? WWE.
Sorry, yes, of course. I was watching it live.
You're just so used to saying no now.
I'm just like, no, I just wasn't sure what you're referring to, but yeah, of course, you're talking about Prime.
It's not real, is it?
Of course it is. Oh! Like, in fact, I would go as far as say, like, has no one ever noticed there's clearly a hilarious clause with Logan, which is no one is allowed to say that Prime tastes bad. You can mock Logan, you can take stabs at Prime, but no one is allowed to say that Prime tastes bad. Notice that Randy Orton even sipped it live on television. He goes, "It's pretty good." He doesn't. I'm pretty sure they're always got prop Prime and it's just water in a bottle.
Yeah.
But I've noticed this about everyone. Even like Rhea said it in Australia. Like,
I'll do a fucking shoey of that, mate.
LA Knight. I've seen so many people all say it's actually pretty good though. It's good. It's actually really. It's like,
and they're always surprised.
You're all being paid to say it's good.
You're being paid, and
you're
the fact
not allowed,
that they're
like,
surprised.
If they say it tastes bad, Logan gets to quit and take the US title with him.
That would be sick. I love that. Plus, it just means we get to see people picking on KSI over and over again, which
lucky KSI. Like, I'm sorry,
Yeah,
like people got to realize outside of the kayfabe, what really just happened. KSI got to be RKO'd by Randy Orton on live television last night. Fucking lucky bastards.
It's the dream. Like,
Like,
WrestleMania, he's gone through the Spanish announce table. On SmackDown, he's been RKO'd by Randy Orton. The biggest wrestling meme, because I'm sorry, RKO out of nowhere, political statement though this may be, is a bigger meme than You Can't See Me.
Yeah, only it was one of the best viral phases. I think the horribly animated gifs of Randy Orton like RKOing missiles out the air and like demolished buildings. Like, it was fucking great. Whereas like just any opportunity, like, you know, why has no one greeted John Cena on our podcast yet? It's like a better concept because like conceptual meme, which is.
You can work it into any situation.
Yeah, so I think both of them, it's hard. I'd say the RKO out of nowhere it's a legendary meme, but it's like a meme format that's now passed, whereas like people are going to continue making this John Cena joke for the rest of time.
It owes itself to the fact that John Cena is actually extremely likable, although he'd probably be a nightmare to live with. He would be the most stingy, up his own arse guy to live with. But then you see him out on the street, he's like, hey, that's a pretty cool guy.
I think his problem is he's so agreeable that like he'd get on your nerves. I'm like, fuck you, John, stop having such sound advice. Like, go away.
Oh, you say that. You don't know what it was like for one of the Bella twins when they were dating him. Because his house has so many rules. Like, not even like you take your shoes off at the door. It's like, when the clock strikes 11, everyone must be in their hiding place. Cryptic shit like that.
It starts sounding creepy.
But he's not creepy. He's just weirdly... The fact that he's less animated than his character just doesn't sit right to me. Because I would much rather it if he would just walk around the house doing, "The champ is..." And I'm not going to do it on camera because everyone gets scared. But you know when his like neck, the veins in his neck pop and the muscles are there, he's like, "Here." I'd just rather if he was like that in real life.
He might be. Because honestly, I'm starting to have the same theory about John Cena that I have about LeBron James. I think there is a side to them that no one will ever know aside from their friends and family, but they are so well fucking trained. Like, it's like a dog, but like, you know, you can see it. You can see the people that are PR trained.
Oh, absolutely.
And those two are like, and it's really comes down to it, like, take the PR training and ace it, and you will be rich forever. Like, Hollywood will treat you well. The world will always, like, you know, as long as because I'd say these two because they're very polarizing big names in both their sports and in the sports world. It's like people have gone through hating and loving both these people, and they're both still going. They're some of the most well-paid, most famous people in their arts, and it's like, and when you see interviews with them, it's like they're robots a little bit, but like nice robots. You're like, a robot I wouldn't mind having in my house, and it's like, what the fuck's up with that? Because there's also little like you said, like there's little sprinkles of things, but then what about this? Like, you know, I look at like LeBron being a weird little troll back on. I seen like videos of him like trolling Kobe when he was like when he was younger in the league, and like they were Kobe's running practice, and LeBron's just fucking around being an idiot on the floor. I was like, how is he the one joking, fucking around in practice, and then the beastiest guy on the court? Like, what the hell's going on here? But then in doing interviews, he's just like, yeah, and I take this super seriously, and I'm super serious, and blah blah blah. Sound advice here, blah blah. I'm like, there's got to be a clown in there somewhere. The same with John. The same with John. This guy used to come out and spit the most ridiculous, offensive bars for the first like 5 years of his career. You're telling me this is the same guy that goes on the Logan Paul podcast and it's just so amicable. It's like he fucking hates it.
It feels like he tells you the truth. It feels like he's actually coming up to you and he's just like letting you in on secrets. But he does it in this like really plain, calm tone of voice. And you're so used to him being loud and explosive that it's like, when he's talking like this, he's talking to you. He's telling you the little itty details, and you're his friend.
I just want him to be a bit more like Hogan. No,
Hogan.
No, Hogan now that like it just feels like everything he's saying is bullshit.
I wrestle 400 days in a year, brother.
Not even that. My most recent one I saw was him saying that his catchphrase and his like go-to thing in the 90s actually worked. Like he didn't believe it then, but it did work. He did take his vitamins. He did pray. And look at me now.
Vitamins.
Look at you now. Yeah, everyone hates you and you barely have the same spine you were born with, man. What are you talking about?
Bro, I was watching, for preparation for what we're going to talk about later, I was watching some of Hulk Hogan's 2003 stuff. And a couple of weeks ago, I watched the Rock versus Hogan at WrestleMania. And it's still fucking incredible. And it kind of got me into Hulkamania a little bit. Because, like, there is something about seeing this orange man with the hair of a blonde Chinese man, like just hulking up and going mental.
The hair of a Chinese man.
It's genuinely my favourite. It's Always Sunny episode.
I actually watched it the other day by accident because I just put on any episode.
Yeah. The Maniac loves you. But the difference between 2002 and 2003, there was not a single time in that run where people were behind Hogan, and it's so great to watch. You feel
no, because what about when he went up against Vince? The Mr. America angle.
Well, the lie detector. That wasn't Hogan though. That was Mr. America. We don't know who that was.
I'm out. It's like I'm not fucking playing this game with you.
It's still real to me, damn it. I can't help it.
It's like, are you trying to lose your smartphone? No, but for real, I'd say that was like, I don't know how they worked it, because aside from like him coming out from the him versus Rock match, sort of the face, there was a time, like, I think it wasn't so much like we wanted him pushed. I think it was almost like, yeah, let's have a little throwback to 1989 and
relive the glory days just for a little bit. And that's literally how it worked. Because the reason he was so over at Mania is because, I don't know if you know this, Canada loves Hogan.
For some reason.
They fucking love the guy.
For some reason.
I don't know why. I don't get it. I thought he was anti everything they stand for. I don't know if Canada's a particularly racist place, but that was the first thing I thought they'd be against. And then in the weeks afterwards, it was literally just a case of they started pushing him because it's like, we can cash in on this. He's not quite dead yet. So then he proceeded to have the worst title run and the worst matches you will ever see. If you ever get the chance to watch Undertaker versus Hogan, watch it, and then you will be grateful for any fucking mid-2000s Divas match. It's fucking pathetic.
Yeah. To be fair, like, what's funny is, like, that era, again, this is, like, I sort of said this to you in our conversation where, like, that is, like, my prime watching time. Like, when I say prime, not my favourite, as in, like, when I was week in, week out, jumping on Sky One and watching all the catch-up, and then Sunday morning watching Heat.
Yeah.
I was in, like I said, like, from Alliance era up until, I don't even know. Like, it's hard, but like I feel like the real peak when I was like, me and my friend were obsessed and we wanted to know what was going on. We were playing the games. Like literally, like wrestling was my life back then. Yeah, it was like post NWO sort of Mr. America run, the SmackDown 6, like all of that shit. So yeah, I very much remember Hulk Hogan's title run because actually,
I'm sorry,
random hot take and sort of taking it away because we've already gone off one tangent anyway.
Yeah, we're on a new continent now.
I will say the WWE Championship runs around that time are my least favorite WWE Championship runs. We're talking Hulk Hogan, fucking JBL.
Oh, I loved JBL.
Undertaker's more forgettable title runs.
Has he really ever had a memorable title run? Oh no, it's happening.
Valid point. Valid point.
Oh no. I mean,
no.
In '97, he beat Sid.
This isn't us shitting on Taker. I would go as far as to say, like, and I have this with a few wrestlers, which will feed into my whole Cody Rhodes thing at some point later on this season. Some people's legacy isn't defined by their time as champion or even the amount of times that they were champion. It's just their legacy.
Yeah.
And for me, no one really, like, you know, even the streak and it's the fact that it got blemished, like, doesn't really matter.
No, it doesn't.
The Undertaker's he's just a legend now. Like, who cares? Like, I can't even tell how many times he's been champion. I assume it's more than 5, less than 10.
I think it was about 6, something like that.
Because for someone who'd been in the company a long time, he didn't have that many.
No, he didn't. He didn't need it though. He won.
He didn't need it.
He won the one against Hulk Hogan, which he lost like a day later. His second one wasn't until Mania 13, I want to say. Then the third one was that undisputed title that he got from. It was Hogan, wasn't it? He won it from Hogan.
I want to say yeah.
Then I feel like the fourth one was the one he won from Batista in 2007. So in the space of 16 years, he won 4 main titles. If there was ever a case of someone being bigger than the belt, it was that. I feel sick being nice to The Undertaker right now.
Just on a separate note, because a similar thing, right? Someone like ruined my wrestling world by pointing out that weirdly, if we talk about like people's favorite tag teams, and I'm not saying it's a high percentage, but a lot of people would maybe put the Brothers of Destruction in their top 5.
Yeah, they would.
And then they weren't even a proper tag team.
No,
like,
they hated each other.
They had no runs, for the record. They had like one run, and again, this was again my favourite era. But there was a run where like, yeah, they'd open a SmackDown, it'd be like, not open up, but they'd come out during the SmackDown, it'd be Kane Undertaker, but like, there was only a short run where they were actually being booked as a tag team. Other times it was just moments in time with them.
Yeah, like very memorable moments. Like things like where they burned Stephanie's teddy bear or when they break Vince's leg.
And I will say this, they probably were the most OP, like, when you look at the usage of characters, there's a reason you couldn't let them be a tag team, because there was no way of excusing in kayfabe why these two were fucking losing anything. Yeah. It's like, how are you going to explain the fact this guy, these two guys who clear rings on their own are now teaming together to go against the Hardy Boys. The skinny little long-haired... Well, I say they all had long hair. The skinny little, I don't know, neo-punk boys who,
Neo-punk? That is the nicest thing anyone's ever said to Matt Hardy. It makes him seem way cooler than he actually was.
Or neon punk, maybe.
Neon punk.
The neon punk. So, like, I don't know, it was almost like the whole tag division was almost its own weight class, and these two just broke that weight class.
Yeah.
So you couldn't have them like be part of the tag division. It just never made sense. But like I said, my point being, in people's memories, they're one of the best, and they are, in my memory, they're my favourite tag team. But like only like conceptually, because it's like, what a force of nature.
Yes, as a force of nature. I can understand that. But there's so many little things that came up in their tenure that put so many blemishes on that. The awful feuds they had together in the later years. Like when Kane back, when he was proper fat Uncle Fester Kane, and he had that title run in 2010. He buried The Undertaker alive again, and who cares? Who gives a shit? You had Journey into Darkness. Have you ever heard of that one?
What the fuck
Kane's
is that?
book.
Why does Kane have a book?
It's not even a book written by him. It's not a biography. It's not anything like that. It is a retelling, a dramatic retelling of his childhood and journey to the WWF.
I'm glad you're saying he didn't write it, because I'd be so baffled, because I think there's a secret narrative of Kane that really needs to be explored now. This silent man who couldn't speak, went from that to a brief period using a fucking talk box machine.
Suck it.
To then just going full crazy and ranting, talking all the time.
To
writing a book. Now he's got a book. Now he's the mayor. What a fucking narrative. I'm sorry, that's crazy.
It is crazy. And as much as I don't like Glenn Jacobs because of where he is now and his politics, sorry, I should make this political. I kind of have like a really weird soft spot for it. I love to see it just because, as you say, where he's come from. It's incredible.
This man was jobbing as a dentist once upon a time.
His name was a pun. Yankum. Because he yanks him out.
Now he's a respectable political figure and WWE Hall of Famer. Who else has that other than Donald Trump?
He's not a Hall of Famer. Undertaker is. Kane isn't.
Kane is in the Hall of Fame.
No.
You're tripping balls, man. You think I haven't gone back and watched my favourite wrestler's Hall of Fame induction? I can't believe you just thought the Kane is in the Hall of Fame. What an injustice if he wasn't by now.
Did he go in before or after Undertaker?
Yeah, he went in after. Because there's a video of Mark telling Glenn. They do it over a Zoom call.
Oh, that's cute.
It's really sweet.
I'm sorry, Glenn.
It's really sweet, but yeah.
Fuck, I've lost Mark then.
They have a little chat, and it seems like an impromptu call, but like it's a setup, and then like, yeah, Mark's like, I'm here to tell you, Glenn, that you're in the Hall of Fame, and then he's like, you really, and like Glenn almost cries a little bit. It's really sweet.
I'd love to see Kane cry.
Yeah, and in his induction, he does a similar thing where I've noticed people do this, where like they refer to their character in the third person during their Hall of Fame. So yeah, he's got like the mask in like a glass box, and he's like, you know, he says thanks to all the fans, and Kane wants to say something as well, and he does the Hellfire and Brimstone.
Oh, I wish he brought the voice.
That would have been great.
I love you.
Kane wants to say something.
Everyone going fucking mental.
So since we're going off the rails, one last thing I want to mention
before we talk about wrestling games
now. Because we're talking about Hall of Fame, I just thought about it because I was having this conversation with Olivia. Don't know why, because she doesn't know that much. She's not that smarky. She's barely, well, she's marky. She's marky as hell. Who do you think should be inducting Paul Heyman into the Hall of Fame?
Well, even before it happened, it probably would have had to be Brock. Even though I can't imagine him writing a speech.
Yeah, I don't want to see Brock Lesnar talking about Paul Heyman. See, I had a crazy idea. And Olivia didn't get it. And I know you're going to be like, oh. Taz. It's Taz! What Taz would be good. Moment to have Taz come out of nowhere.
Yeah. And especially considering like we're in that age now where the fact that he works for AEW, they don't care. They'll have him there. Taz would do a great speech as well.
See, I feel like you can get Taz for two reasons. One, I feel like him being an AEW is actually more of a... There's certain people that it's like, you didn't swap sides. WWE were done with you, and AEW were like, we would love to have you. So it was like, the same with like, you know, Jim Ross going off doing commentary, like, you've been WWE too long. Not everyone could be Michael Cole and stay forever.
They've made enough jokes about him at this point. And like things going up his arse.
And it's almost like, because he wasn't the best commentator anyway, let's be honest. Like Taz is a meme commentator.
Yeah, he is.
It's like the unintentionally hilarious kind of commentary. Like he's just funny.
But now he's tapped into that, and that's why he's so good.
But
he's got past Aces of Eights. He's done all that shit.
I think that WWE could get him back just to induct Paul, and it wouldn't be an issue. It wouldn't be like if Edge randomly appears at WrestleMania.
I mean, if you wanted to get really controversial. If they brought him back as Adam Copeland as well, that'd be great. Oh, if you wanted to be really controversial, what if they got Tommy Dreamer to induct him? And they got him to talk about WrestleMania 17.
Like, because the obvious one is Punk.
You're not going to comment on the WrestleMania 17 situation?
No, I assume we'd get into that in more detail at a later point.
Okay, yeah.
I know there's a situation, like, I like Tommy Dreamer, but I don't remember enough details about him.
Keep it that way.
Keep it that way.
He never appealed to me. Never did. But yes.
Come on, he's Weapon Man. The obvious choice is Punk, and obviously we're almost. I said this to Olivia as well. I was like, I feel like it might have been planned. As soon as they had Punk back, like, you get to induct Paul. We're going to be in Philadelphia for WrestleMania. You'll have a match, although now he won't.
The rumours are he might be back in time.
No,
I can hope not.
Surely not.
It's rumours. There's always a rumour.
Either he's worked us, because I've heard from the reports that like the injuries, it was worse than he anticipated, and actually, it doesn't like he's going to be able to like wrestle. Bear in mind, he's barely wrestled since rejoining the roster anyway.
He can barely pick people up these days.
Actually, no, I take that back. I take that back because I've seen reports that he's actually been doing a few dark matches.
Wow.
He's done a couple. Like he's actually had a match against. I know he had a match against Dom Mysterio.
That was his first match back.
And then there's been I think he's done one other appearance. So maybe he's done like two. He's wrestled, but and then he did the Royal Rumble.
Okay, that's a terrible, terrible run that he was on.
And it's weird because let's be honest, he was wrestling it for AEW. It's not like it's not like he'd been away.
He was on the weekly TV.
Yeah. So why was he like kept off? Like he came back at Survivor Series, didn't wrestle a match for like a month.
Yeah, and then I can understand sort of the whole appeal of having kicked the shit out of a really hated heel. Why not do it on TV? Why do it at a house show? It's not like he's got ring rust or anything. The fight was only 2 months before.
It's weird. But yeah, so the Paul Heyman thing, I felt like mentioning that anyway because did I not mention how much I think Paul Heyman is the GOAT last episode, and then a couple weeks later he's being and it'd been in the back of my mind that I was like, I don't know why he's not in the Hall of Fame.
Why don't we just go the whole? Why don't we get Curtis Axel to induct him?
I swear, isn't he like in AEW as well or something? But
Who cares?
So mean. So back to the games, right? I'm gonna talk about the Attitude Era game, or WWE Attitude.
I've heard it's dreadful.
So I'm gonna give you my memory of the game because what's really funny is I did a bit of research and I found out what version of the game I was playing. There was basically a sort of sequel to the game that came out. That basically was the same game, slightly updated roster, most of the same mechanics. The thing I was going to mention as well, because I was trying to talk about terms, there was an option in the menu that I never understood. You're going to laugh when I say it now, but it was just like, you had like exhibition mode, there was like some sort of like story career mode. There was this thing that just said stables. That to poor 6-7-year-old Zach playing a wrestling game.
Like,
I know what the fuck. Even when I went on it, and it just gave me the roster and like an option to put wrestlers in. I didn't understand what the fuck was going on. Like the term stables made no sense to me. Even I think up until because what's funny is they didn't even have that. That wasn't like a function in the SmackDown games for a while. They brought it back like later that you could build your own stable. So it was just this random option in the Attitude game that just said stables, and I never understood it. It didn't change anything to the game, and I think I used to randomly like just go on it and just put my favorite wrestlers into a stable, not realizing that's what it was actually doing, but then never really like utilizing it because I didn't understand the implication. When they start
running in on each other's matches, like what's he doing here?
This was a 1999 PlayStation 1 game. There was no run-ins. The only thing
it was earlier than that.
The funniest part of this game, which again I didn't have much context to at the time, was this was the one that it didn't have like proper entrances. Like you got a bit of like weird background music sometimes when people would come in. It'd go straight to the ring. There was commentary, and there was a story mode for each wrestler. But there was these random when you played the story mode, there was these random cutscenes, and it'd just be like this sort of vignette of like a wrestler talking. And 9 times out of 10, it was Owen Hart.
I know the game you're talking about. I don't think it's Attitude. It might have been Warzone.
What's Warzone?
It's a similar vein. But
no, I'm pretty sure. The reason I said because I looked at this the other day, and this is what I found out that they made. I believe it was Attitude because it was basically a re-release but slightly updated version post his death in his honor. Yeah, so they basically centered it around him. So like he was the guy who kept challenging you. So if you got like into the game, like basically the point of the game was to like beat Owen Hart in respect to him, but like sort of trying to make him like a final boss of the game sort of thing. But like they were tapping into his angry Owen. So like what was happening is he'd come up like you finish a match and then fucking like he'd be on screen and it'd be Owen Hart, like an actual scene as well.
I am not a nugget.
Yeah, like fucking I'm gonna beat your head. Enough is enough. And he'd just be playing his theme tune in the background, like the good one, like not what was the
not the one that got turned into the I wanna be a Hulkamaniac. Same simps.
But what's funny is at the time, this is what I mentioned in season 1. My understanding of Owen Hart was like after playing those games and maybe at the time like or maybe a couple years later, I remember like someone I know who also liked wrestling told me that he was dead and told me how he died, and I was like it was always sort of this urban myth because like there was no internet back then, so I had no confirmation. My mum, I'd ask my mum, and she's like, "I don't know what you're talking about." Because it's like,
what are you talking about, kid?
Just for the record, I'm talking about like as a kid when you found out information that was questionable that you couldn't verify, the first person you went to was your parent. Like, is it true? This person told me this, and my mum, I'm telling my mum, is it true that Owen Hart fell from like the top of the arena and died in the ring? Mum's like, what? No, probably not.
She's looking at you mortified.
She's like, that's probably not true, no. Someone probably made that up. And I was
Wrestling's fake, of course it did.
So my mum's like, yeah, that probably didn't happen. Because I'm asking if a man died in a ring in wrestling and she doesn't know.
Mum, what did Chris Benoit do to his family?
No, I know that one happened. I know for sure that one happened.
I got told that at school.
I was old enough to understand every part of that story. And was horrified and was like, I almost like 9/11. I feel like it's this is going somewhere. Almost like 9/11. I lived through the events, was horrified by it, and also lived through the era when clearly, culturally, we decided we're going to start joking about this now. And then I was like, oh, I'm game. I'm totally up.
Someone's talking about it, and you're kind of looking at the other people who have awful, evil senses of humour, and you both look at each other just like, so, about them towers, eh?
Well, I was about 9 during 9/11, so by the age of 13, we were laughing at 9/11. Same with Benoit. I must have been about... When did the Benoit thing...
2007.
7?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah,
I mean, I was like 15. No way. No, I was not that old.
You probably laughed about it when it happened, if you were 15.
No way.
100%, 2007. Sure? 2007.
I'm gonna double check this because 7 seems too late.
When did Chris Benoit die?
Chris Benoit died the 24th of June 2007 at age 40 in Fayetteville.
I thought it was November, if I'm honest.
Oh, so I was 14. That doesn't feel right. Like that doesn't sound.
He killed his family. Right. Of course, it doesn't feel right.
That's like I just feel like I was younger because I feel like I was still watching wrestling. Was I watching wrestling at 15?
You fucking loser.
No, like
I was.
My entire life is just like aging is horrible. Don't get old, people, because your memory and your perception of how your memory works changes. Like you think you remember exactly when something happened and how old you were, and everything goes out the window. So I was 14 when Chris Benoit died, and I'm suddenly like, when did I stop watching wrestling? Because I feel like by the time I definitely... There's a girlfriend I had at like 15, 16. I'm like, I know by this point that's when wrestling went out the window because I just stopped paying
You want to get laid, so
actually,
you stopped talking about wrestling.
I forgot about wrestling, genuinely, for a good 2 years. But I feel like... Because he died after Eddie, right?
Yeah, 2 years after Eddie.
Maybe that's why in my head, because I remember being young when Eddie died. Feeling young.
Eddie was 2005.
So I was like 12 when Eddie died.
Right.
Yeah. I was like 12, 13 when Eddie died, and that was like before I broke my wrist, and yeah. Okay.
Before you broke your wrist?
Yeah, I broke my wrist.
Are we getting sneak peeks into Zach Law?
Zach Law. No, I broke my wrist for a summer, and then yeah. Anyway, the point I was trying to make was... I've lost it now. You threw me with that information. But my point, I was trying to make a point about like the Benoit, the era of that happening, and then I lost myself. because I thought I was younger when that happened. So now I don't know the point I was trying to make.
Oh, god damn it.
When I'm editing this,
Was it going back to Owen and asking our parents, did this happen?
No, that was it. I think it was just understanding the gravity of like how real these situations are and like how verifiable the information was. So like with Benoit, I knew it was real and then was old enough to start joking. I think that's the point I was going to make was we were joking about Benoit by the time I was like 15, joking about him crippler cross-facing his entire family.
Oh, he's still so bad. But it's even worse because...
But I'm referencing how MRI was 15 years ago.
Yeah, it's a quote. It's a quote of a harder time.
I'm not condoning myself. God, who condones their teenage self? We were all assholes.
I was a fucking weirdo. Jesus Christ.
You had a point.
I was just going to say, it does especially sink in a little bit more when you have that juxtaposition between the real and the fake. When the real is Chris Benoit has committed an awful sin to his family. But 3 days before that, Vince McMahon got in a limo and blew up. But that one's fake.
It's hard.
I wish that was the real one.
As a young wrestling fan, it's hard to sort of like, okay, so which one is that word that I don't understand? The kafabe? But yeah, so we had a topic for today. And I think, first of all, I want to ask, because I've been thinking about this, I want to start asking you more questions.
Oh, yeah,
that sounds weird, but I want to start asking you more things. So first of all...
How big is Batista's dick?
How...
No,
don't get that.
You're missing out, mate.
How big is Batista's dick?
When we finally get people who are actual wrestling fans watching this, please, everyone ask him, how big is Batista's dick until he finds out where that came from.
I can't wait. So I hope we find a fan through this. I hope someone comes up to me out of nowhere and is like, Zach, and I'm like, you watch SmarkZ?
No.
Oh my god, I have a fan. Anyway, stop distracting me. I have not eaten enough to be drinking and then going on this many tangents.
See, I've had a steak bake, so I'm ready.
My brain is so fried. And I don't even smoke today. I want to ask you, first of all, your opinion. Not opinion. How are you staying up to date with sort of I hate saying this, road to WrestleMania?
Well, member of the WWE universe, I'm mainly just focusing on what they post on social media at this point. So whenever it happens,
I can't believe you're watching wrestling the same way Olivia's watching wrestling right now. Am I the only person who's dedicated? Am I the only one who cares?
I work fucking 5 days a week.
So do I.
Whoa. We can't all be Mr. Energy. I'm a lazy sack of shit. And nothing sounds worse to me after a long, hard day of work than watching a, what's her name? Maxine Dupree match. So I'll just watch the highlights.
Oh, Stephen, I have such a story for you, but we'll move on for that.
Okay.
Hopefully I remember before the end of this, but I've done something.
Oh no.
I've engaged. I've done a thing. I told you, we'll get into it. Anyway, so obviously the main push right now is I sort of want to lead you towards telling me how you feel about the tag match, the blatant pandering and whatever the fuck is going on with the WrestleMania plans.
See, when you made that meme of me saying WWE learns from their mistakes, doesn't mean it's necessarily a good thing. They've learned way too hard this time. And I think the tag match is an awful idea.
It is. It's fucking terrible.
It's terrible.
Because first of all, not only are we putting so much focus on this story, but now we're like, oh, we're
it's
gonna
main event in both nights.
we're giving the entire WrestleMania to Cody Rhodes' fucking story at this point. And I'm like, fuck Cody, bro!
See, I don't mind that. I don't mind dedicating the WrestleMania to one big story. Especially, it's WrestleMania 40. It's a big event. It was kind of the same for Daniel Bryan 10 years ago. It started the show, it closed the show.
He ended the show. Yeah, but...
That's good. Why not start WrestleMania Night 2, or Night 1 for that matter, with that match? Let the women main event Night 1.
They probably... I hope they open it, because they can't.
It's wrong.
They can't let Cody double headline WrestleMania, bro. That's fucking bullshit. We're giving everything to this fucking white savior, slim shady ass looking motherfuckers. Like, yeah, 2 Royal Rumbles, headline 2 WrestleManias. Why the fuck not? Like, he headlined last WrestleMania, technically, wins 2 Royal Rumbles, and then gets the headline night 1 and 2 of the next. Fuck this guy.
But we love him.
No, we don't.
I do.
We don't love him.
He's fucking great. He battered The Rock on the mic last night.
I didn't watch that. I haven't watched that segment.
Oh, that sums it up. He was better than The Rock. Seth was awful. Seth ruined everything almost. But
yeah, the Seth of it all was a bit random. I can't lie. Like, I like the sort of side plot of Seth is too distracted and Drew's going to capitalize because of it. But if Drew fucking loses, I don't know what story I don't know what we're telling here. What we're saying that Seth Rollins can just fucking do whatever. It doesn't matter.
he wears banana yellow suits. Of course he can. He's fucking Becky Lynch.
He's not fucking Becky Lynch.
All right, he's deeply
Becky
in love with
fucking
her.
him.
Yeah.
She's a dominant Irish woman. I'm pretty sure she's fucking him.
I hope the mic's picking that up. It's gonna sound so mental. You rambling about that.
I will repeat this. She's a dominant Irish woman. She is fucking him. Thank you. You're welcome, ladies.
Oh, I was going to make a reference to the Irish person we know and her husband.
Oh, let's say I was like, I know an Irish girl who I'd also say is pretty dominant, but
Yeah, that's it. I just don't want to say their name on camera.
oh no, I think we're talking about 2 different people, but I know who you're referring to.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I would assume she is the same, honestly.
Sorry, all Irish friends who are like me. Anyway,
But yes, this build up to WrestleMania. The other stories that there are, not that there are many yet, have been good. I do really like this Bayley story.
oh yeah, of course, no.
Bayley should be main event in night 1.
For the record,
She
most of the
fucking
time,
deserves it.
most of the time I'm
stand by it.
shitting on things.
Sorry, just for a moment. Bayley is one of the most underutilized people on that roster. For the last few years, I think it's kind of gone under the rug as to she's been a heel longer than she's been a babyface in WWE. But that blows my mind because when she came into NXT, she was the hugger. That's still the Bayley I have in mind. And I think that's why I kind of like this face turn she's had so much. It feels like she's still in there, the hugger. But now, even though she's like 33 or something, it feels like you've seen someone grow up on screen before your eyes.
Yeah.
Over the last,
I can't
8
agree.
years?
I agree with the concept. I haven't seen many, so I said to you before because I watch a lot of retrospectives, and obviously I love the product enough to like find out about people, but still because there's so much, it's a weekly fucking show, 2 shows a week, and with that that's weekly progression of stories, so it's very hard to like have I suppose like a mental understanding of like how long someone's run has been or how long someone's been on the story or sort of character they're on.
Yeah.
So I know she's been a heel. I don't know for how long. I obviously didn't see it, and I'm only assuming. So in my mind, weirdly in reverse, most of the time I think things are longer, but in my mind I've thought the damage control thing's only about like 2 years old, and her being
damage
heel,
control is.
I know the damage control. I saw the birth of damage control, but I sort of assumed she'd been heel not long before that. Like
No, it was probably, if that was 22, I want to say it was about, because it was pre-pandemic.
So stabbing the tube men, when was that?
Either late 2018 or late 2019.
20? Oh, fucking hell. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Jesus
She came out with the short hair.
Christ.
She was known for the ponytail.
Yeah.
She came out, and it was like,
And
was an actually
being a lot skinnier.
good moment.
And this is not a body shame. This is... I compare current day Bayley to like the Rihanna glow up in terms of like, people already thought they were cool, attractive, whatever, but now they're in their thick stage. They're in their...
I can't believe we're going to talk about Bayley's ass on this podcast.
We're not talking about Bayley's ass. I'm talking about her body type. She was very skinny. I've seen pictures like she was very skinny. Now she's like got a woman, like not a woman's body. That sounds so disrespectful, so hard. But you know what I mean. She's gotten thicker, and I feel like obviously I jumped in and saw Bayley like this, and I go back and it looks like maybe she's like just grown older and it's been a long time. Like, almost like when you look at someone else like So I think a good example that I would say is someone that you've almost watched grow, like you said, grow up in the industry, and like because of that, naturally their body has changed. Like
The Rock, maybe?
yeah, The Rock, great example. Like
He's got thick.
only getting bigger somehow.
Somehow.
Like, you
That
look at him,
unnatural body of his. Jesus Christ.
it's crazy. But yeah, it's what I mean is I'm not trying to objectify either of these people, and if I am, I mean it in the most positive way, but not in a creepy way. I'm gonna stop digging holes.
It feels like she's gotten more comfortable with herself, both in the ring. I have no right to say out of it because I don't know a damn thing about her. But she's got her own body type. Everyone online seems to love it, which is why I made the we're not going to talk about her ass comment. And
We're not.
No, we're not going
Swiftly moving on. So yeah,
no, I did mention
agree.
The Rock.
The Bailey story. The Bailey story is. Do you know what? I feel like I'm going to go back on myself. Something that I said last week, which was I hate when things are too predictable. But I feel like there's room for certain things to be predictable, and this is actually going to lead to my next question for you. Actually, because I've been thinking about this, I'm like turning this into an interview. When, as a wrestling fan, maybe not when, do you feel that there was either a turning point for you, maybe because you were getting older and a bit more smarky as a fan, that you found you could predict the outcome of matches and stories, or do you think it's a product of where we are now culturally? That it's just like because of social media and because of like, you know, retrospectives and people that theorize like that it's you can sort of almost know, especially the longer a storyline is, it's more predictable for me.
Yeah, because you know it has to end. You know, sort of the further it goes, the more they're backed into a corner, almost. And I think for me, I'm not really the kind of guy who like needs it to be unpredictable. I don't need it to always surprise me. I think sometimes there's a natural conclusion, and I think sometimes that's the right way to go. And a lot of the time, they will do everything they can. I think last WrestleMania is an inclusion on this. They'll do everything they can to swerve people. And there's a reason WCW went under. It's because they just swerve people for the sake of it. Fucking Russo would Russo, Hogan would Hogan, and tried to say something controversial, but I got nothing. I didn't watch enough WCW.
I thought that was obvious. Bischoff. I was hoping you'd have a good Bischoff.
I love Bischoff with all of my heart.
You can love Bischoff, but he still helped fuck up WCW.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Like the man definitely like
it went straight to his head.
Let the competition, and it's crazy to think that they let the competition go to his head. He was like, as long as I'm signing guys that WWF want or people want to see, I'm winning, and he forgot
which
about.
Which is what AEW are doing now, by the way.
I feel like that's not fair. AEW have got the context of WCW to not go that badly. Like, for example, they are picking talent rather like yes, big names, but they're also picking talent. Like I feel like the signing of Will Ospreay and
Ospreay's good.
And what's his name? The Japanese guy. Kushida. That's not. Yes, it's big name signing, but like that's we want to bag like people that are actually fucking sick before the Fed come along. And there's people like Ospreay is basically like they had to pounce on Ospreay and give him an offer because he basically said, I don't want to live in America and I don't want to do the WWE schedule. But that didn't mean that he didn't want to sign with someone. He just said he didn't want to have to move to America. So AEW's like, you can be as part-time as you fucking want. Like,
Essex is lovely.
like, you know, we come to England once a year, and you can come and do what you can be the Roman Reigns of AEW. We do not give a fuck.
Christ, that is the worst thing anyone's ever said about Ospreay.
Why? A man who's earned his right to appear as little as he likes?
No, I meant calling him the Roman Reigns of AEW.
That's what I'm saying.
No, I will say, while yes, I think they're incredible talents, and WWE probably did want to sign both of them, is Kushida going to make AEW $13 million in the next 3 years?
Maybe.
On what ground?
After some fire matches.
Is Japan Mania going to run wild?
Shush now. Okay, so moving on.
Now I feel like I said something dodgy. God damn it.
My original line of question, which was about like understanding the predictability of matches and things.
Yeah.
So you made a good point, which is like that you don't need to know, but I think for me, I'm finding it hard to sort of separate myself from the idea of predictability. I think for me is like, so we're talking about Bayley, and I was like, for me, the Bayley story is a fun, predictable story. It's like everyone for the longest time has been wanting her to turn face somehow, and obviously they gave us the opening as soon as it was like, oh shit, Damage Control's turning on Bayley. Like,
yeah,
we're gonna get face Bayley again, and it's like we basically have face Bayley. She is the face in this story, Bayley. But now it's like, okay, it's almost like there's a final step, which is bring back the wacky waving guys.
No, don't bring him back.
No, not like permanently, but we've got to have a moment. Like
if Mania, like
if she
really
wins at Mania,
ones.
like they've got to merge, and like and things like that's the predictability that we want. But for me, it's like if there's too many things predictable, then the whole WrestleMania is ruined. Like if it's gonna be, well, Bayley's gonna come back and win. Like Bayley's gonna win. Cody's got to win his thing.
Well, especially because
Drew has to beat Seth.
I think that's more of a Drew will beat Seth.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But like all these things are getting too predictable. I'm like, do I want to watch 2 days of predictable wrestling called the greatest show of the year?
It depends on how badly you want the obvious results.
I don't want. That's the thing. I don't. That's what I mean. For me, I don't like obvious results. Like there's things that I want to happen, but then it's almost like maybe I'm the problem. Maybe I'm too difficult to please.
I mean, I'm going to point out on SmackDown last night, they did make the rule that if Cody loses, he doesn't get another shot at the title. The issue is
because that's a bullshit stipulation anyway. Because that's always like against Roman. He doesn't get a shot against
a face
Roman.
authority figure will come out and be like, "I've changed my mind," and then it goes back to how you'd expect it to be.
Because also Brock isn't allowed to have another shot at the title.
I'm going to say I think that Cody Rowan match is the least obvious out of the ones we've spoken about. Seth Drew's winning. The only not obvious part of that is Damian Priest going to cash in, which he probably will, especially because it writes itself.
It has to, because we need a story. So I'm gonna save that. I'm gonna save this for another time. I've got it written down. So I think for me, it's how The Rock plays into this all. I think he genuinely, and this is gonna be probably the most controversial thing I'm gonna say. He is actually the element in this whole WrestleMania thing that keeps me interested, because whether he's gonna betray Roman or stick to being a bloodline guy is pretty much the interesting element now. Like it's like it's whether or not The Rock is gonna betray the fans or work with the fans or do something interesting, and whether the whole story works out. And this, again, going back to last episode where I was like, I'm annoyed at the fact that we seem to be sort of forcing the weaving of Cody's story of the bloodline dissension or, breakdown story as one. But if we're going that way, let's do it in a fun way. So, if it was a pivot, and we're saying that they pivoted after Cody brought out The Rock, and now we're gonna have The Rock maybe betray Roman, I don't know, then it makes that bit, because there's things that don't make sense in the story, so they need to do something that makes things make sense but also is fun.
Yeah, I mean, people are going on about like the little things, like the whole sort of him doing that as opposed to doing that. Like he's a fucking 15-year-old girl in 2008 calling losers.
We'll say it was weird that he looked at Roman. I don't believe, because the L thing, if you watch it back, people pointed out like he done it for like a second, like that for 1 second. He slowly puts his thumb up, so he doesn't. It's like, yeah, but the bit where the first week one where he turns and goes, "I'm gonna do everything I can to make sure you lose at WrestleMania, and walk out a loser," and then goes back to not pointing at Roman. It was like, that was a weird specific choice. I even watched that one back and I was like, he does very intentionally. As he says, I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure you walk out of WrestleMania what you are, a loser.
He's talking to Roman.
And then goes back to looking at the crowd afterwards. I'm like, that's an interesting one. That is very interesting. He's going to betray Roman. But
if they're going to do that at Mania, I think the best way to do it, just my opinion, have them win the tag match. The tag match no one with a brain wants.
No, because he'd be banning himself from ringside. Because he said the Bloodline's banned from ringside, so it wouldn't make sense.
No, have the Rock win. The Rock
Is it? Sorry, you're saying have them win.
Because then you get a really chaotic match.
Yeah, because
you have people on both sides coming out.
Shenanigans.
Yeah.
Do you know what I said again? Go back to episode 1. They best script the shenanigans. I was like, yeah, that means the Bloodline has to win night 1. Shenanigans crazy because obviously that implication being it's Bloodline rules. How are they going to lose? Well, they're going to betray each other. But I still think there's an element to this. I'm going to just throw this out there now, quick. You don't even have to react. I will say, with all the shenanigans, I really hope they do something smart with Solo. He's the only one I care about in all the shenanigans. I don't want just a Solo backing Roman in the shenanigans. I really, really want to see a conflicted Solo at WrestleMania Night 2. Like, all the shenanigans going down, you got maybe it's in the moment, The Rock betrays Roman, and in that moment, you know, Dre's in the ring, Jimmy's in the ring as well, obviously after having their match that we know is definitely happening.
Has it been confirmed yet?
No, but we all know.
I don't want it. Don't want it.
Again, I'll get onto that in a second, but hopefully with all that, I just, because it's all about, for me, it's about how we go from there. Like, personally, you know, I hope this leads to like an interesting Backlash match. We get the Roman Rock match at Backlash. It doesn't have to be for a title, but it would be a big match. You know, similar, throwing back
the most likely place for Roman versus Rock would be Saudi Arabia. I'm sorry to say.
Why?
Because
they pay a lot.
Money.
But
makes the world go round.
But yeah, obviously with that would sort of play into the Bloodline stuff. We know we've already had the, what was it called? The Jay versus Roman match. That was
Tribal Rules.
Yeah, so we have another Tribal Rules match. This time Rock versus Roman. This time Rock wins, and then we lead to what we hinted at: Broken Roman, which we've needed for the longest time. This is the best storyline. Broken Roman.
Fucking like, I mean, if we're gonna get Broken Roman, I want him as the champion, and that's the Roman who I want Cody to beat. I'm sticking with Cody in this.
No, I want him to, no, I'm saying this is after he loses at Mania. I've already accepted he's probably going to lose at Mania. So if he loses at Mania, then we get back. But like, rather than a backlash of Roman versus Cody rematch, we get Roman versus Rock. Have them, because I don't we don't need the rubber band. I know that sounds crazy. How is he going to have the longest fucking reign of all time and not get a rubber band match? But it'd be fun to say that he's so distracted by the breaking down of his family. And then he's going to look at The Rock and be like, this is your fault. You betrayed us. You came in. You helped Cody win this thing off me. So then they have a backlash match. And then amongst all this, you've got a conflicted Solo trying to decide what to do. And I'd have Solo just be the one to, like, spike everyone. He just decides, I don't need any of you anymore. He spikes both Usos.
He goes
Jimmy
wild.
and Jay, Rock and Roman. And he's like... And then Paul follows Solo. Like, I would love for like...
Oh yeah, like really like
Paul Heyman's
cowardly,
like, I'm going to go with
this is the guy.
Enforcer. You know, because he's Paul Heyman, who's the most Paul Heyman guy out of everyone minus Roman? Solo. So he would go with Solo and maybe do something cool with Solo and Braun Breaker.
Ooh.
Because I also, if he doesn't fucking bag Braun Breaker, I feel like it's a wasted opportunity.
I mean, I'd rather them be separate entities. Because you can have some good fucking matches between those two. I don't know if Braun needs a mouthpiece. He's not the most charismatic man.
He sounds too much like his dad. I'm sorry, but he sounds like you got this butch guy, and he comes out and he sounds weirdly high pitched. I'm like, what the fuck?
Solo, you have a 33% chance of beating me.
What's with the Steiners and their weird high pitched voices, man?
I don't know, but I don't care. It's okay with Braun because he wears like he wears the gayest outfits possible.
This is why he needs a mouthpiece.
I love it.
I love him. I fucking love Braun Breaker. Like, Braun's making me actually appreciate the Steiners more. Like, because I do think the Triple H flex off thing has really like blemished their legacy. Like, especially Scott's.
Yes. Scott has not had a good time since he came to WWE.
And it's crazy because people don't realise that like, in the 90s, him and his brother were like a great tag team.
Yeah.
They were a fucking excellent, like, muscle powerhouse tag team that were weirdly more athletic than they should have been, very much like Braun now. Unfortunately, Scott Steiner's legacy is ruined by the steroids.
Yeah, and Rick's is ruined by him being a massive transphobe. I think the transphobia is worse, personally.
Yeah,
But,
obviously. But like Bron is like everything great about them, but natural and fresh. Weirdly.
Yes, yeah. I think he feels like an actual athlete. He feels like with the Steiners, they came up in a different time where it was more about the big guys with the good bodies. He has that, but now he has the athleticism. Now he has the. I think his in-ring ability is brilliant. I think he gets a really good Mickey Mouse promo.
And he's also tapping into late Scott. Great promo, which is like acting dumb. Like he I've noticed it recently. I was like, he's doing the meme stuff from Scott Steiner, which is
Can't believe you call them memes.
it is. It's like what was great. What's been great about like postmodern Scott Steiner, and it's him playing up to being a dumbass.
Yeah, like
And
self-aware dumbass.
Yeah, and Bron's doing that a little bit. I've seen it, and I love it. I fucking love it.
I hope he will catch on to it when he comes onto the main roster.
He's on it.
I mean, like when he has like the push.
Yeah, when
on
he's.
the main roster.
I think it's very much a Jade thing. It's like we've got you. We're gonna pull you from NXT now. There's no need for you to be here. Like,
Has he lost the tag titles on it?
no, I know. It's one of those. They're doing a similar thing that they did with someone else who sort of like, was it Dragon Lee who sort of got his call up, but then was still like, because he got a call up, was then doing weekly matches on Raw and SmackDown, but then he won the light heavyweight title, and it was like, well, he needs to go back to NXT to lose this. And it's pretty much then with Bron, like he's appearing on SmackDown, but he's still got an NXT title that he's obviously has got to lose. What I think is savage is he bringing Baron with him? We all know the answer to that.
No, he won't. But
Baron's being
he's
left.
safe down there. Leave Baron alone. He's a lovely boy.
I feel so bad for him. I'm like, maybe he like,
he's happy.
in the back of his mind. Do you reckon he's like, right, I'm with Bron now, with the tag champions. They obviously want him in the main roster. They can't leave me here. They can't leave me with Sean.
But it feels.
And Sean's like, yes, yeah. So we've negotiated, and yeah, just Bron's going, man. It's like, but why? I used to be on PLEs.
Bro, do you want them to book you? Okay, no, stay. Keep me. So I'm getting a little bit conscious of time here because we had a late start. Not entirely our fault. But even though we didn't get a full chance to really talk about any of the subjects today,
it's cool because I'll drag them over to next. They're good backup thing. They're backup talking points.
I might have cracked the code. I might have the replacement for such good shit.
Oh no, I'm sort of scared. Why am I scared?
This is actually really clean. This is actually uncancelable, and it's actually
uncancelable. Everybody,
I mean, it depends.
you heard it here.
Just like me, cis white man. I like this because it's quite a. We can add a theme song to it. we can have
You
like a
encourage
little
me to
title
write
card.
original music.
Christ, no. I was expecting. But the nice thing is, we can kind of. It'll always have the same title, but we can adjust the topic of it.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Fact or Fabe.
Fact or fave? Oh god, I like this. Did I just jump in and assume that this is going to be a fact about someone that's either happened in story or is real about them?
Oh, it could be. It's whatever we want it to be.
Or it's made up.
It's whatever we want it to be.
Okay.
This week, I've gone for a very specific thing. Is this an official piece of merchandise, or did I make it up?
I like this. I like this idea of like, either you came up with this mad idea or the Fed.
The Fed.
This. Yeah, I feel like I've recently, even though I've been aware of the term and, you know, it's been used for over a decade, I feel like it's been like, I've been made hyper aware of it recently, so I keep saying it. Because it's funny, because like, let's be honest, it's shouldn't it be the ENT?
What?
The ENT, for entertainment.
Oh. Jesus Christ, I hate it.
I hate the Fed. Like, Fed. Oh, God, I'm headbutting
Jesus Christ.
Fed, bang. Fed, to me, is like, you know,
Nowinski's not going to be happy.
what annoyingly people in London call police. Like, oh, feds.
Feds.
I'm like, first of all, Feds is short for Federal Bureau of Investigation.
Yeah.
The FBI. We don't have that here. So calling a police officer a Fed is stupid as fuck. But I'm done trying to educate London.
You're such a fucking nerd, bro. Jesus Christ.
Moving on. The Fed. Or the Ent.
The Ent. I mean, I like that because it reminds me of also the trees from Lord of the Rings.
Ents. Thank you. It's cooler.
So, as we said this week, is it a real piece of merchandise or is it not? I've got 10 here. We're not having a tie this year because I've got a tiebreaker.
Is a tiebreaker just you win because I didn't beat you?
The pyro goes off in the room and we have to escape before the building burns down. So, number 1. It's a Daniel Bryan hat, but it has a beard on it. Fact or fabe?
Daniel Bryan hat?
Yes.
With a beard on it. Oh, fuck.
They loved the beard, didn't they?
I want to say real because they had a whole thing about going on about him being bearded and looking like a goat and the flying goat
being
bit
the goat
that JBL was obsessed like weekly. Oh, flying goat. It's a flying goat this, goat that, and then constantly trying to make out that he's small even though Rey Mysterio is on the fucking roster. But yeah, I want to say the beard was real. The beard hat was real.
You're correct. Well
Thank you.
done. Well done. 1-0 to Zach.
Already winning.
Number 2. WWE replica belt waist expander for fat people.
I'm gonna just jump in and immediately say real because I feel like you're trying to throw me off by adding for fat people, which obviously wouldn't have been in the item description. I know you, Stephen.
Fuck, it's a fact, yes.
Yes! I know it exists because of course Americans need this.
Of course they do. How are you going to wear your fucking belt for athletes when you go to Raw on a Monday?
My favourite thing. My favourite meme ever. Not even meme, it's like comment, like sort of comment / observation that fans that bring belts to shows should be forced to defend them.
Yeah. Getting super kicked. The amount of thigh slaps that's going to be in that building. The Young Bucks would be jealous. But they'd still have more.
Yeah, everyone's gangster until Brock Lesnar starts shoot wrestling.
Oh no, I can't make that comment. Oh no.
Or you could say against black fans.
Say against women.
Jesus Christ, that's even worse.
You need to go with a security detail to that show. We're actually going, April 19th, we're going to his first live wrestling show. If Brock's in the room...
I will be... Brock is not going to be there. His legal issues will not be cleared up in the next 40 days.
Fuck yeah!
I know, it's not long. It's really not long. I'm
so
excited. I'm very excited.
Oh.
I'm like, who are we going to see? We don't even know!
No! They might do a superstar shake-up. Might have a draft. Who knows?
All I'm saying is I hope... I'm a little bit sad. I sort of want Seth Rollins to turn up because if I don't get to whoa, that's all I care about. That's all I want to do. He doesn't have to wrestle. I know he's been cleared.
Sorry, I'm looking at this. I'm just making sure my mic's working because I'm looking at that screen. But
we have 2 for each of us anyway.
1, 2, 1, 2. Oh, that's working. That's fine.
It's great.
So, number 3, Tori Wilson wife beater T-shirt for men.
As in, it says Tori Wilson wife beater, or it's a wife beater.
It just says wife. No, it's a T-shirt that says wife beater, and it's Tori Wilson on the back. Because there was this whole storyline. It was Dawn Marie. Dawn Marie married Tori Wilson's dad, and then gave him a heart attack with sex.
God, I fucking hate 2000s wrestling. How do they squeeze that into a 3-minute segment? That's crazy. How are we supposed to get that much information?
Well, I mean, Jesus Christ, I can feel a lot of... No. My personal life is none of your business.
I'm going to say fake. Because I feel like they were so disrespectful to women, they didn't even get that much merch.
Fucker, it's fake.
I'm that good. I'm getting smarky. If I get more than half of these, I'm going to move myself up from mid-card Smark.
You're going up to bronze.
No, number one contender.
Number one contender. We're going to end up competing weekly for the title of Smark. Who is Smark of the Week?
That might be the theme of season 3.
Oh. I mean, it'll be fucking shameful if after all these years I lose it, but bearing in mind that I'm keeping up to the date with the most important timeline in wrestling, the road to WrestleMania, via Instagram, I might deserve it.
You're doing yourself no favours. And you didn't know Kane was in the Hall of Fame.
I remember The Undertaker. I don't remember Kane going in.
I think it might have been 2020. I almost...
Nah. Because Undertaker went in, I think, 21.
I'm doing that awful thing where I have to fact check.
If it turns out...
It was 2021.
So Kane would have been 22?
Yeah, he was class of 2021. No, Kane is class of 2021, so Undertaker was before that.
Really? Okay. Hmm.
Which has given me a thing I want to do at some point. You know, I was got my Rushmore, but until I can come up with good graphics for the Rushmore thing, it's getting benched. But in the meantime, we might have to do a who should be in the Hall of Fame. But that's separate. Keep going with your list.
I mean, we could finish with that. I think that'd be quite
we need to
take a moment.
We need to do our main subjects.
That's why I did this, just in case. I did want to just take a moment and say, fuck yeah, biggest fans of Bull Nakano going, we did this, we represented.
Just to give a bit more context, we are taking ownership,
full responsibility
for Bull Nakano being inducted to the Hall of Fame because we mentioned her. We made the entire wrestling community aware of Bull Nakano when we didn't even know who she was from the 1995 roster. Former WWE Women's Champion.
The only credible person who could have fought Alundra Blaze. We did this. We did this.
Every time I think about it, I just think about the quote from you being, she made up 25% of the women's roster in 1995. A roster that included Linda McMahon. So she basically was 33.3% of the roster. Jesus Christ, how were only 3 women competing for one title?
It was 90s wrestling. Who was respectful to women?
But no, for real, do you know actually, apparently the story as to why she's being inducted is because apparently Triple H was a massive fan.
Good.
He said he loved Bull. Apparently, I think, understandably, I said it in that episode and we didn't talk about it afterwards, but I've gone back and watched 2 Bull matches from that era, from 95. Not only was Bull an interesting heel, but I think aesthetically, let's be honest, most women of that era were still more feminine, and then here comes Bull Nakano looking like some wild fucking Japanese, somewhat androgynous, with the fucking I say Paul Tekken hair.
Yes,
all gelled up, all this fucking face stuff, and acting hyper aggressive, somewhat masculine in a way. Women's wrestling hadn't seen that.
It was the same thing that you'd kind of see from Luna Vachon a couple of years later.
Yeah,
China. They were all inspired
women
by
that weren't, because Alundra Blaze, who props to Alundra Blaze, was amazing, was still very she was that sort of gymnast build and very feminine, very pretty blonde who was strong and never to be underestimated,
capable but girly.
Yeah, and then Bull Nakano, this wild Japanese style person. Yeah, something that the Fed hadn't seen. I'm saying Fed. Because it was relevant because it was 95. So
every
it was
time
the
you
Fed.
say the Fed, I just in my head here.
Doesn't even make sense. That's from the WCW.
Yeah, I know, but it feels like you're just gonna say, "Oh well, Mankind's about to win the world title. That'll put butts in seats."
Lethal dose of poison.
A lethal dose. Don't know what term.
Continue with your list, my friend.
Okay. Well, we got number 4. You're 3-0 up. I don't think this is going to go very well for me, looking at these.
I'm not a contender.
WWF sweating action figure.
Sweating action figure?
Yeah.
How would that work? This is like you squeeze the legs together and like water just like...
Yeah, you just fill the back with water, and then it just seeps out the pores.
Why? Why did you need to...
Because when you're having a long 7-minute match, which on an episode of Monday Night Raw in '96 would have been a long match, you start sweating. They're gassed.
I want to say yes, because that sounds like some terrible 90s figure that they made.
You're correct. It's real.
Yes. Do you know what? My thinking is, we're talking about like the weirdly fleshy fucking like muscle dolls.
Yeah.
And for me, I remember the ones the changeable heads. Like I had Power Rangers that had, so they had their normal head and then their helmet head, and you have to like squeeze the legs, and then it would like flip the head. So like literally from here it was like cut out. Right, there was like this weird like cavity, and it would like flip.
Well, now he's angry.
No, now they're a Power Ranger.
Oh.
So like normal Power Ranger outfit, but then without their mask off, and then you squeeze the legs, and it would like rotate, and then it would like be the mask.
I don't know why. I was imagining it was a wrestling one. I imagine having Eddie looking really smug. But it's the 2005 SummerSlam edition. So you squeeze the legs, and he goes really angry. He goes, "Where's Vicky? Where the fuck's Vicky?"
But yeah, I can't believe that, because the problem with that is like, what's stopping you from putting like red liquid? Now they're not sweating; they're just profusely bleeding all over the place. or get really weird with it. It's like putting like black liquid. Now it's just getting literally dark.
New WWF blackface dolls.
You realise I'm going to scream perfect if I don't get anything wrong.
It's fine. I don't mind. I mean, you'll be happy. That's right. We got number 5, WWF talking soap.
What? What's it going to do? You're there rubbing your butt like, what am I doing?
What?
Just watch you the whole time.
Why are you scrapping your balls? Get it right in the gooch. You son of a bitch.
No, that can't work.
You don't fake for that one? That one is a fact.
No!
Come back on, everyone.
I need to see this in real life. I need to see talking soap.
It was real.
How does it work?
I don't know. That's the problem. All of the ones that are fake, I know how they work.
I do need to know. You should reveal it after, but I want to know when this was a product, because I feel like that's a very poignant thing. Like, what era are we in where people were crazy enough to try and even make this
See,
product?
I've actually done you a service here, because bear in mind, with the belt extender for fat people, I call that the WWE replica. That was the WWF talking soap, and the one before that was WWF sweating action figure.
So yeah,
I'm giving you time frames.
Pre 2000. Yeah. So what? You know what? I actually forget. When was Get the F Out? That was like what, 2003?
2002.
2003.
That's when they lost the lawsuit to the Panda.
How, of all the things Vince managed to get away with, how did you lose a lawsuit to the fucking WWF?
I don't know.
How? Because they're trying to save animals. I'm a
Losers.
billionaire. Fuck you. You're a charity.
He should have came out in a fucking panda suit. Like wearing like panda fur robes. There's 101 Dalmatians.
It's crazy. I actually looked into it. I think I looked into it. Apparently they sort of decided to let them have it. It wasn't so much they lost, but they sort of like, you know what, we'll just change our name.
Well, it sounds like they were just like in it for a
crazy
new era.
when you look at like especially the story of how Vince captured the territories.
Yeah.
How he then just let a charity take the name away from him. I'm like, that's fucking nuts.
I mean, you use the word charity, and that kind of says a lot to me, in the sense that, I mean...
Vince McMahon! The sex offender!
He does Make-A-Wish.
The abuser! No, he makes John Cena do Make-A-Wish.
He goes up to kids with bowel cancer and says, such good shit!
But no, next one.
Next one. So we got the Chris Benoit versus Undertaker Buried Alive match.
Toy.
Yeah?
I find it weird it's specific. Surely you could just sell the Buried Alive toy. Why does it have to be Undertaker versus Chris Benoit?
Well, you can't have a Buried Alive match without Undertaker, can you?
But that makes me sad because we've already previously established on this podcast that Undertaker loses all of his Buried Alive matches. So
I mean,
that means
definitely lose if there's some gym
Chris
equipment.
Benoit has to win, and nowadays that's not something we can allow. I pray to God that's not real.
Is that your answer?
Yes.
You're right. You are right.
Fuck. Only because I know my real logic. I never, I've seen wrestling. I owned wrestling toys. I never saw specific match wrestling toys.
There were match type toys. You don't have casket matches,
but matches between two people. And that's where you did yourself dirty.
No, I've seen those.
Because I used to have an Extreme Rules match, and it came with an RVD figure. He lost a leg eventually. Yeah.
My RVD figure lost a leg.
Did you try and make him do a 5-star frog splash from the second floor?
I wasn't that angry.
Which was me doing this. I did the movement and I just threw it.
That's how he did it. He just went whoop whoop on the top rope and then jumped. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the first toilet break. I'm sorry.
It's also 5-1. So
yeah, I know.
I've basically won.
There's a tiebreaker. I could get 4 in a row.
It's over.
I could get 4 in a row.
Statistically speaking, it's over.
I'm not having this shit. I'll come back stronger.
So basically, I've got a side story, Stephen, and you're going to see this when you see the full episodes. Every time you leave the room, I start shitting on Cody super hard.
You fucking mark.
I'm done anyway. I've made my point. Everyone who's watching this from the edit will know, because they've already seen episode 1's rant about nepotism. Stephen's like, what?
Nepotism?
So let's get on with this, because we are running out of time. It's 5-1. I'm like, what the fuck?
As if it couldn't get any worse. Great. We've got the WWF Scratch and Sniff poster.
Oh, Scratch and Sniff was a thing. That was always a thing. And you said WWF, so that was definitely real.
You shitter. It's Fabe!
No!
It's Fabe!
There was no Scratch and Sniff poster.
No Scratch and Sniff poster.
I feel like you used WWF against me.
I was going to be really specific when I did it as well. So,
Bastard man.
Stephen is Bastard Man, yes! We got number 8, Eddie in China, Vagina t-shirt.
What's the spelling?
VA-China. Like it's a spelling bee. Can I have the definition?
This was Attitude Era. Like Eddie
yeah, of course it was.
Eddie and China were very fucking raunchy and like pushing boundaries. So
they weren't that raunchy.
They were a little bit. It was you had a Latino man basically openly confessing his love in very overly sexual ways. Like other than this, I feel like
Mamacita.
Other than the existence of Val Venus, I feel like WWE hadn't been this openly perverted. Honestly, I've been watching a lot of like classic era, randomly on and off, and I was like, genuinely like that era, because what Eddie China was, because she joined him after DX, so that was like 99?
99, 2000.
Yeah. Honestly, they were trying so hard to bury WCW, and they're like, what have we got? Well, we've got fucking sex scandal storylines going on here. I'm going to say that's real. Even though I feel like it's not. I feel like it might have been real because I missed
Final answer.
Yeah.
It is real.
Yeah.
You have won this round.
I've won this game.
Fact or fame. Do you want to continue with the other ones I came up with?
Let's just go through them. I'll just say quick, yes or no.
So we got the TNA table that says Dixie.
No.
That's real.
Dixie.
Yeah, because Dixie Carter got pushed per a table.
For fuck's sake.
We've got the Sable handprint titty stickers.
Oh, 100%.
That's Fabe.
Ah, you tricked me.
I did it in the wrong order. We could have still been going. And we've got the tiebreaker, which is the Rikishi shirt, which has an arse that hangs over yours.
That fucking ruined me.
It's like you're touching cheeks.
Genuinely, for a split second I started to become concerned about how long I was going to just hold cider in my mouth. That sounds so good. It's not something you equally made up, but also
they would do it.
My favourite phase, Vince sanctioned bullshit. Oh fuck. Yeah, that's real.
It is real, and it's the first wrestling shirt I ever owned.
You owned this shirt. I need it. For the edit alone, I need to see if you have this.
I don't have it anywhere.
Or a picture of you wearing it.
No, there's like no pictures of me as a child, so I could just appear.
There's no pictures of you as a child.
I appeared at Samsung in 2022.
Did you never like have school photos?
Oh, no one wants to see that one. I didn't go in with the back t-shirt.
We have recorded this now, so I'm gonna have to put a picture of you in school. I'll tell you what.
I will find you.
I will also post one of me, but the one of Stephen is coming first. So yeah, well, editing is fun.
I will say that did actually perk me up a little bit because it was 6-4 in the end, I believe. I might be awful at maths, but it wasn't as bad as it was either 7-4 or 6-5. One of the two. Definitely bad at maths.
No, 7-4 because it was a tiebreaker. So 7-4. Not tiebreaker, right? Not
as landslidey as I thought.
Because WWE's that unpredictable. It's that fucking ridiculous.
There is a moment here now where I shake your hand. I say congratulations. And I present you with something you're going to have to ride home with on a bike.
The champ is here! This is the greatest moment of my life.
I had to walk out of Argos with that. It was so embarrassing.
You realise I'm bringing this to the fucking wrestling... I'm bringing this...
Well, no, because you might lose it by then. This is a weekly segment now.
That's an opportunity for content. Me losing a wrestling match live.
I don't mean like via pinfall. I mean via fact or fame.
Oh my god, I'm wearing this.
Does it actually fit? Because it doesn't fit me.
It definitely doesn't fit me. It looks like it does. If I lean back. Oh my god, how much was this thing?
Too much. It was 20 quid. But
I know real ones are like 150 pounds.
When I went to Money in the Bank, I was looking at all the belts. I was putting like cheeky little comments in the family group chat. I was like, this one does look good. And my dad would just reply back with, if you buy that, don't come home.
Yeah, but you said this to me. You were threatened with being disowned if you spend money on a real replica belt.
I mean, joke's on him. I'm going to buy that wing deep.
Joke's on you, Dad. When I win the uwu, you have to acknowledge me.
Throw up those ones, Dad. My sister and my mum are just sat there.
I'm realising now we're probably going to have to move this to next time, but... So, we had a plan today to talk about our Lord and Saviour, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
It's the worst we've ever followed a plan.
But it's because we had fun.
Exactly. It was all the better for it, I think.
This is almost like a product of us getting all our tangents out of the system from last recording.
We will have more tangents. I'm so sorry.
Also, I was late, but I wanted to talk about The Rock because obviously we're in a place right now where The Rock is very, very fucking relevant. He's back. He's working us better than I think he's ever worked us before.
Agreed.
I will point out now. So last night, The Rock came out, and I feel like I didn't actually. I fell asleep way before the actual movie.
Standard episode of SmackDown right there.
I was so tired, man. I woke up at 6:30, and then I went to work, and then I did a gig for my friend. I went to a gig while I was jumping around, and I was also DJing for a friend. I was destroyed. I did over 20,000 steps yesterday.
Fucking mental case.
In comparison, it's only 4 o'clock today, and I've done 8,000. This time yesterday, I was already on about 14,000.
Fuck you.
So Yeah, point being, I noticed there's been a very interesting shift with The Rock. So obviously everyone's mad at him being a board member, being part of this pivot, part of this potentially screwing us out of Cody's finishing a story. But what I noticed is yesterday, when they had the clip of him coming out the car, which they do every fucking episode now, like, oh look, this person arrived to the arena.
He's wearing a nice shirt. Ooh.
I'd say I would put it up to like a 90% of the crowd were cheering.
Yes.
And I would put this up to, I feel like everyone is sort of settled on The Rock fucking up the Cody thing. Now it's like, well, if he's not gonna fuck up our WrestleMania that the annoying fans want, you know, you fucking annoying Cody cry bitches.
Oh, you meant that as well.
I went in just then.
You meant that.
Now the fans are just happy to have him back, and it's
Yes.
like, okay, you're not gonna jeopardize what we want, so of course we're just gonna cheer The Rock. So it's funny that, like, even though he turned heel, he's not getting booed the same he was 2 weeks ago.
I mean, I will say for the end segment, he came out to probably the biggest cheers he's had in about 20 years.
It's crazy.
But by the end of the segment, everyone was cheering for Cody.
Well,
Not caring about Seth.
But that's because, like, in context, like, you know, when you're going to put them in the ring, you know, going against each other, of course, Cody's the man at the moment. He's the man of the hour. But, like, what I mean is, like, even trying to give us heel Rock, when he's not getting booed as hard as Dom Mysterio. And even that is, like, I feel like that's an act. Like, everyone, we're booing Dom because you want us to boo Dom.
Yeah, he's
like,
an obnoxious.
We don't actually hate Dom as much. Like,
no.
I throw this out there, like, as an example. Like, if you want to compare things, and this, because we're running out of time, I'm gonna talk about what I did. If you want to compare things, the Dom boos are like, they're like fun boos. It's like we're having fun booing this guy.
It's a sign he's over.
Compared to the Maxine Dupree boos,
oh, those ones are mean.
They're sad and they're mean. I want to get into what I did. I'm going to pull it up because I want you to read it.
If this starts with you opening Twitter.
No, it's Instagram. Oh. And it's definitely a comment section.
Oh, no.
Shout out Chris Van Vliet, one of my favourite wrestling content creators, because he just gets the coolest people in and interviews them.
I've seen you commenting on his post.
You saw? Is it because my comment on his post with Maxine has the most likes?
No.
As we speak right now. So I'll go as far as being this lame. So I'll use the SmarkZ account because it was on my personal, and I'll go to the account. Notice that for some reason the top of the searches on the SmarkZ Instagram is Toni Storm.
Understandable.
I don't know why.
She's mummy.
Because I fucking love her.
She's better than Rhea. I'm sorry.
She is a little bit. Her mic work and act in terms of promos is stronger than Mummy just being Mummy. Like, Rhea's great. It's almost like conceptually Rhea's great, but like on the mic, Toni Storm is fucking murdering.
She's actually playing a character.
She's playing a fucking
The idea of Rhea
character.
as Mummy is just Rhea. She is Mummy.
So you go on here, and you go to the comment section. Oh no, I'm not the top commented anymore. No, what happened?
Oh, please tell me they did delete it.
I hope not.
Go to if you're on the SmarkZ account or whichever account that made the post.
Oh no, it wasn't there. That's because I'm on the wrong post.
It's another Maxine Dupree related post.
Yeah, there we go.
Because we need multiple.
There we go. 33 likes. I want you to read it. I want you to read my post. I want you to read the comments as well. Because, oh my god, it gets so funny. It gets so... I want to call out these motherfuckers.
Imagine believing she needs to develop, as if fans know better than professional wrestlers about talent level. You stood up.
Do you know what it is? Is this off the back of the house show? Did you see the Rhea post?
Yeah, I did.
That she got booed out of a house show? I'm like, wrestling fans need to fucking relax. They need to fucking relax. Because I understand the rhetoric that they're like, we're paying to come and see a show, so if someone's not that good, don't put them there. But I'm like, people are acting like she's getting fucking title shots.
No, she's just on the show.
She's had 2 fucking singles matches on a live show against fucking Sarah fucking Logan, who spends her time in Antlers and has been part of the roster for years, clearly being underutilized. So if any Sarah Logan fans out there like, sorry, where's Justice Valhalla? Well, she's only getting matches against Maxine who gets booed out the fucking building. I'm sorry, but like, they're getting jobber positions and people are still fucking complaining. I'm like, you lot are dicks.
That's all they'll do, though.
You lot are fucking dicks.
I made the joke about her earlier, but 2-3 months ago, when there was the Alpha Academy storyline, everyone was all for Maxine Dupree. Everyone was like, oh yes, I'm going to ignore the fact that she has no experience, she is starting from the bottom right now, and she's only going to get better. You go 2 months forward, wait a minute, she's starting from the bottom. She's got nothing yet.
Boo! People are crazy. It's like, I'm sorry, she's got a 10-minute slot against Valhalla. 10-minute match. And you're like, she needs to develop. Why are they putting her, paying fans are watching this? I'm like, it's not like she was in the fucking elimination chamber. Will you not relax? Yeah. Will you fucking relax? But my favourite part of this whole thing was, I think this is more me mocking comment sections. Because it's not in order. So the first person said, anyone with 2 eyes can she's super green in the ring. I'm like,
yes. Yeah. Okay.
So what? Don't put her in the ring at all. So she remains green outside of the ring. Dickheads. And I did comment immediately because I had time. I was at work. I had some time and there was nothing going on.
Yeah.
So I replied to that saying, "Oh my bad. I'll jump on the bandwagon of hating someone who's not dropping 5-star matches from the jump."
Cody Rhodes has never had a 5-star match.
Exactly. My favorite. I'm gonna call you out because
please name this person.
Clayton Lazar.
Clearly an important person.
Replying to the person above me who was defending the fact that she's super green, the guy only cares because she's an attractive woman. He's trying to be a white knight simp.
What, for respecting someone?
I love incels, man. I fucking love incels.
Why isn't there an incel gimmick in wrestling right now? An incel gimmick would get so over.
Why knight simp? Because I don't want to hate on someone. I love how he infers that because she's attractive, that's why I'm defending her. I'm like, what if I don't find Maxine attractive? What then? Oh no. But no, my other favourite was sorry, little bro, but she's not as good in the ring, but she is getting better, and every week it shows. So W. I'm a bit jarred because
did Hulk Hogan right now?
I was very like in two minds, obviously off the back of the other people coming at me. I was like, I don't know if this person's like being rude or not. They did little bro me, and I had to check. This guy's definitely a teenager. I'm 31 years old. Oh, Instagram, you're fun. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm done with entitled wrestling fans. I am an entitled wrestling fan. I pitch how they should write things all the fucking time. But what I don't do is try and comment on people's talent level.
Yeah, of course.
Except for Undertaker's acting. His acting is terrible. And that's just objectively true. But for real, leave Maxine alone, bro. Like I said, it's not like she's getting title shots. Oh, she got a segment of Raw. She got a 10-minute match. She had a 10-minute match.
The whole point of her story
won against Valhalla.
Valhalla's my favourite, actually.
Like, you lot
push Valhalla.
Like, I'm not going to try and take this a direction of, oh, you hate women because you're like, no. I'm just saying you're very, very unforgiving. We're so unforgiving all of a sudden. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Let someone suck. Let someone be bad. We let Sin Cara suck and jump off a fucking trampoline for years before we started calling for him to no longer be put on the fucking main roster. Like, Dom Mysterio doesn't exactly have amazing technical matches, and he's getting matches against people like Randy fucking Orton. Like, why are we complaining about Maxine versus Sarah? Oh, I'm sorry, Valhalla. Like, we're acting out. We're acting out as fans, and I can't be part of that. So I had to speak up.
You reach a point where you just kind of like, how is this helping anyone? Like, do you just want her to disappear? Do you want her to just fuck off and do something different? Or do you just want her to see your comment and get really upset? You're just being a miserable little cunt.
Oh, I've got to say, the guy who accused me of simping, I did reply to him personally and added him. And I was like, you wait, bro. She will notice me. Because I'm a fucking troll and I'm not going to engage with haters.
Which is why I'm sad that he has main access to the SmarkZ Instagram.
I've been chill. You're going to hate this, because if you do look at the SmarkZ, I've given you the password. But mostly it's me just trying to trigger Cody crybabies. I'm going to admit it now. I find any comments with that have like any posts that have less than like 10-15 comments, and then I just pretend I'm a massive Roman fan. Like, yes, Roman, 1,000 years Roman, and people get really mad.
But if I actually sign into that, it's just going to be one feed. SmarkZ, at SmarkZ, at SmarkZ, at SmarkZ, us arguing with each other. I will be the crybaby, and I will do it. I will be a
crybaby. There's no problem being a crybaby.
Oh, he deserves it.
I don't hate the Cody narrative. I just want it to be more convincing. Like, I really wish they didn't do the whole angle of him not wanting to win the World Heavyweight. Because I'm like, why are we acting there's only one title that WWE owned? Like, he could win the World Heavyweight and it would still be valid, no?
Yeah, but it's also because he's beaten Seth 3 times. You look like a pussy if you try and win a title by beating the guy you beat every week.
Yeah, but you didn't beat him when it works, when it counted. That's what I'm saying.
Because he hasn't fought him when it counted. Why would you bother?
Well, he hasn't beaten fucking Roman when it counted either. Let's end it at that, because I need to pee.
I'm impressed. Wow.
That was a good one.
This has been the most nonsensical, over the top, dramatic, no cohesion episode of SmarkZ ever. And I fucking love it!
But luckily we have a subject for next episode, which is The Rock. We will be talking about The Rock in the next episode.
Which was the topic for this one.
But I love that we managed to get... Essentially, well, we lost 20 minutes, but we got an hour and 40 minutes without talking about the main subject, which is great. We talk about other subjects, and it's awesome. But yeah, The Rock will be fun. It'd be... Because we're gonna look at the years of The Rock, you know.
Just as a teaser for next episode. Do you have a favourite era of The Rock?
Yeah, my era of The Rock, which was peak Rock and Austin. Come on. Like,
I mean...
there was no better Rock. Like, even when the Rock versus Hogan, like, that was a great run. Like, him trolling the NWO every week, because that was fun. Like, the NWO came in as this force, but then just The Rock and Stone Cold were the only ones that were like, yeah, fuck you guys. And week in, week out, weirdly, they were put over, these guys. Everyone else got trashed, but these two got put over. And it was fun. It was really fun to tune into. So, yeah.
That OP is fun.
That's my favourite era of both of them, to be honest with you. Actually, no, I'll tell you about not Austin. Austin would be maybe like a year or two before that. But The Rock, definitely.
Before he got hit by the car.
Yes. Before Rikishi hit him with a car / Triple H.
Rikishi ruined a lot of things, bless him.
No, he didn't. The writing, creative ruined a lot of things with Rikishi. Poor Rikishi. He didn't decide. He didn't walk into creative like, I want to be the guy who claims ownership of hitting Stone Cold with a car. No. Creative came to him and was like, you're the one. And he seemed like, why? You did it for The Rock.
This is the most dramatic defense of Rikishi I've ever
How
seen.
dare you insult Jimmy and Jay's father like this, and Solo's?
Don't call him Jimmy and Jay's father. He hates Jimmy and Jay.
I would too right now. Solo is the one to be proud of. That's so fucking rude.
Boy.
That's so fucking rude. Nah, but for real.
He'd go to their fucking funeral. And he'd just... hats on, hand on like that.
Scotty Too Hotty appears out of nowhere.
You look fly today.
Are we ending it on that? Because I will just get that song and just play it. I need to pee. And, next episode, The Rock. I'm currently the champ.
Cunt. Next episode, everything we meant to talk about today.
Smark fans, acknowledge me.
No.
You let me drink 2 7% ciders, man. You're crazy.
7%?
I found it earlier. It's amazing. Goodbye.